You were born to go away, not in the dirt, you will lay. I told you not to come for me. 6 feet under, where you're meant to be.
Okay, yeah, so we're back. That was a little bit bonded by darkness. We did have a little internet glitch there. This is the joy of doing a live broadcast. The internet just did a blip out, but luckily the all the software said, yeah, we're going to hang on. So some of you are still, it looks like, hanging in there, but we're still streaming. We're still alive.
You can't get rid of us.
No, you can't. It takes more than fucking that to shut us up. And you were like, is it the universe? I'm like, no, fuck that. There's shit that needs to be said. One of the things I wanted to bring up, because I think it also relates to men, and I see it a little bit differently, and I'd like to see what your thoughts on this. When the Me Too movement happened, a lot of men lost their minds about, this and, all the blah, blah bullshit. But I believe that it really was born out of the frustration and just lack of available options for women to be heard, for men to be held accountable for really ridiculously abusive, shitty behavior. So women caught on and said, you know what? The cops aren't going to listen to us. Nobody's going to listen to us. We're just going to start publicly shaming. We're going to hang people out and expose them in a way, taking advantage of, viral social media elements. And it started to work. You started, men started, talking a little bit quiet, doing, you know what I mean? We got, and it started to shift the element. Now, you and I both know that, like anything, it can be used incorrectly. But I'd really because you kind of lived through it like I have. I'd like to know what your perspectives are on it versus how things used to be.
Okay, so my perspective on it is, you're exactly right. I believe that's why, because we got tired of, falling on deaf ears. We got tired of having excuses made for for the abuser's reaction, or the abuser's actions, I should say. We're done. And there was so many different excuses for why it was okay for a man to rape a woman, or drug them and rape them, or make excuses for them, like, again, he's a good boy, you're going to ruin his career because, he's going to college and he'll get kicked off the football team. And, men will just sow their oats. They're just boys. Boys will be boys. That's another good one. Boys will be boys. And we got tired. I think we got tired of it. And we are tired of it. It's a culmination of a buildup of centuries and centuries and decades of frustration and not being able to really do anything to protect ourselves or to be heard and be taken seriously.
Well, it's ironic because there were elements historically in the past, and we'll use the pagan analogy, women within pagan eras and communities and stuff like that had much more rights. They were respected. They were in many ways worshipped. And there were definitive lines. You know what I mean? You could not rape a Norse woman without paying the price. Now, you could rape a slave because they didn't count, but you get the analogy. There was at least some, there was a semblance.
There was a little bit of a.
Well, there was a deeper thing. You look in Egypt as well back in the day. There are examples historically where women were held at the same level, if not to some degrees even higher and stuff like that. And it worked. But the historical trend was all of those dynamics got written over by the new religions. They got tossed out and replaced with, hey, let's grab them by the pussy. You know,
misogynistic, male-run religions.
Right. Gospel of Saint Donald, Psalm number 909.
Grab him by the pussy.
Grab him by the pussy.
I will never
the
forget.
First commandment. It's the first commandment. Grab him by the pussy.
I will never forget a conversation I had with my mom. My father was an abuser, emotionally, physically, mentally, and on a lot of different levels. And at one point when I was coming into teenagehood, I was getting really fed up with it and constantly going to mom for help. And I'm like, why can't you just be strong and stand up for both of us? And she tried to convince me that her strength was in her submission. And that's a narrative that a lot of women took. And that I think shaped me quite a bit to saying, yeah, no, I'm not going to deal with that.
Yeah, no.
But that's like the quote unquote traditional gender roles you were talking about before. And the Me Too movement as well is that so many women think, well, I'm being strong by just putting up with it. I'm being strong by standing by my man. What's your take on that?
Yes. Yes, because honestly, I had a talk, it was a while ago, believe it or not, with one of my brothers. And my brother told me, Mom, he said, I think Mom is one of the strongest women that I ever known. And I'm like, really? And he said, because Mom told me, don't hate our dad. I chose to stay. Don't hate your father. I loved your father that much. I chose to stay in the abusive relationship. She chose to stay. And that made my brother feel like my mom was the strongest person in the world for staying in an abusive relationship with my father. Even though every other minute she was forced into, oh yes, another fun fact. Women, if a man didn't want to pay for her insurance or didn't want to have anything, he could forcibly put her into as an insane asylum, a mental institution, up until I think was 60 something. I'll have to check my facts on that, but it was fairly recently, giving how long Earth's been on this planet.
History's terms, right? Yeah,
right. A man, a husband, could forcibly put their wives into a mental institution.
Yes.
And there was nothing she can do about it.
In our lifetime.
Yes, in our lifetime. And I know this to be true because I lived it. I seen my father.
My mother
doing
says
this
she
to
thinks it's 1972.
My mother. Okay, I wasn't sure the exact, because my mom was in and out. Every time I turn around, she was either in the house or she was no longer with us.
My mother lived through that, and my mother was very active during those years. She was one of the women that was out there marching. She was out there.
I visited my mother in the state hospital for visitation, okay, at the state hospital here in downtown. He used to take me. He actually got full custody of me. And he used to take me to pick her up from the state hospital to take her out to Highland Park. And then we would bring her back.
Wow.
Listen,
we
all know, even though the laws changed, that, a lot of this shit was still fucking going on. I mean, let's not pretend that the laws did anything really.
The laws didn't. Right. But yeah, they, men were able to force women, their wives, not only to have sex with them and rape them, but they can put them in mental health institutions involuntarily.
Speaking of things of that nature, I saw the other day a video of this woman who was talking about how when she had a C-section, they literally cut through 7 layers of tissue. They gave her Tylenol. Okay.
And what did they give her?
Tylenol for pain control after cutting through 7 layers of tissue.
Yeah, because that's going to happen. Right. I've had it done twice. And Tylenol will not touch it.
And her husband is now scheduled for a vasectomy. And before he's even had the procedure for his vasectomy, they have already given him a prescription for Oxy.
Oh.
And that's how fair our medical system is for women. And that's how much they dismiss a woman's pain still.
Yeah, my mother brought another fact here for all you folks out there. Women couldn't even have credit in their own name until 1974.
They could not.
50 years.
They could not. 1974.
Yeah.
50 years ago.
Which is in the framework of all of our lives. I was born in 68. Yes. Shai, you were born in
75.
75.
So just
and I was born in 66.
Yeah.
And I was born in 66. So, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So
do you think the Me Too movement has helped women at least stand up for themselves a little bit? I think it has, to a point.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be casualties along the way.
I think so too, but of course, you're going to have the opposers say, oh, they're only doing it for attention, or unfortunately, some people are taking advantage of it. Like they take advantage of it. Other people take advantage of it to get on the bandwagon or to, or whatever.
Fucking money. Be like, hey, that basketball star raped me. Give me some money.
Even though they probably didn't, but who knows? But
there's bad apples in every group.
Yes, but ultimately, I think it has given women that ability to fight for themselves and actually be heard.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what's her name there? Sorry, my brain went south. The one that just took somebody for a lot of money recently there.
Yeah, E. Jean Sullivan.
E. Jean, yes.
Yes.
You know how long that woman had gone through hell, right? And it took to this point
This is the irony that, again, we don't have an even-tiered justice system. We do not have a consistent standard. You made a great analogy, and I remember the story about and I think he was a swimmer. He was like 19 years old. He was on the swim team for USC or something like that, and he basically raped and beat up a young girl. And there was an outcry about, we don't want to ruin his life. He was just a young man. He made a mistake. So we've created
his career. It was a mistake.
Right. We've created this narrative where, especially if you have money, you can, play these other types of cards. So, a woman like her, and again, regardless of what you believe in the political spectrum, she, she proved it. We have courts of law for a reason.
But we live in a pay-to-play world. If you have the money, you can do damn near anything you want without any or minor consequences.
Listen, you won't get any argument.
The money.
Well, geez, you can pay for your mistress's abortions with money, even though they're illegal.
Absolutely.
They can still, in the states that they're fully illegal, the rich, ultra rich people can pay. The men can pay for their mistresses and their girlfriends.
You said
abortions.
It earlier. It's all about control, and the control is based on fear.
Well, it's also about the money.
And what I want to know,
it's all about the money because she's right. All about the money.
And this is what I want to know. I want to know the root of the fear. Why?
I think
are these people
it's just that simple analogy. It's control.
Afraid. Why?
Because
why do you need to have? Why do they want all that control? What's the fear of not having control over somebody else? Go on with your merry way. Right?
Once upon a time, we had a more matriarchal society, and men felt emasculated by that. And so we pendulum swung the other way, went full patriarchal with women being nothing but cattle. And what we need to do is find an equanimity where everybody has a seat at the table because we've all got brains and we all bleed red.
Right. Listen, not equality, equanimity.
Equanimity.
There's a difference.
History has proven more men were emasculated quite literally by the Catholic Church and the male figures within that structure. So they could have that perfectly balanced choir out there.
Yeah, I was going to say they had their little peckers cut off, didn't they? Because or fixed or something,
balls,
so
their balls were chopped.
Their balls were
they could say soprano.
So they can say soprano. So yes,
because we have that beautiful music. Who cares?
Did Jesus want that? Did God put that in? That request?
I'm just going to say that Jesus hated the religious figures of the day.
He did.
He really did.
I think it's in the Lost Scrolls where they talk about the magic underwear and owning slaves and
the gold sneakers.
Being able to fuck 13-year-old girls or whatever it is.
The aprons.
Yes, and the
aprons, the gold sneakers, and the magic. Yes.
Hey, I do have a question. A question that I did want to ask you publicly. Are you prone to violence?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And I wholeheartedly admit to it.
I appreciate your honesty.
I am prone when I have to defend.
You're a mama bear.
I don't start it. I refuse to start anything.
You're all 4 foot something of pure fury. You're 4 foot what?
11.
4'11" of pure fury. Don't.
I will advocate I will advocate and I will fight for anybody that does not,
but
can't do it for
she's
themselves.
got the energy of Rocky Marciano. Yeah. Like, and I don't know if it's the Italian thing because I've seen it in my mother and I've seen it in other women throughout my life.
So.
And don't get me wrong, I do not mean this in any type of degrading or negative context. You know, and some of it is in the joking dynamic. You know, my mother scared me more as a child than my father did. Once I realized I could beat my father up, you know what I mean? That was it. You know what I mean? And ironically, that was also when I got thrown out of the fucking house. So
look,
I can't, honestly, it's funny. I can't really explain a lot as to why I am the way I am. I mean, it's my generational trauma for sure. But you know what? I have a need and to help advocate and fight for people that cannot do it for themselves or need that help at the time. And you know what? That makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside when I can jack up a douchebag.
Wow, that was a visual I really did not need tonight, but thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. When I can jack up a douchebag after that douchebag, male or female, has hurt somebody intentionally, especially if they can't help themselves, I get this warm fuzzy feeling inside. Does that make me a bad person?
That makes you an empath. That makes you somebody.
Listen, I would say that goes back to the old Knights Code. You know, defend those who need to be defended, regardless if it's popular, convenient, or you know.
I you know what? It may not be socially acceptable, but in my younger years, I have done so. And
well, listen, we're not, like, full disclosure, we're not advocating everybody go out and get a fucking Batman suit and go out there
no.
Take shit into their own hands.
Okay, when it comes to my kids and my family and my friends.
Oh, listen, no argument there. Yeah, definitely.
I like the Queen of Swords analogy. And when you look in the tarot at the Queen of Swords, she's the queen of boundaries. And she's always sitting there calm as fuck, just sitting there with her sword bared out. The blade is open. Right. She's not looking to attack anybody, but my God, if you put your hand in her personal space, it will get cut off.
Yep.
And I think I'm comfortable in speaking for myself, you, Diane. I think possibly Estelle, definitely my friend Jess. If we get a tire iron or a crowbar and we need to, we're not afraid to use it.
Not at all. And you know what?
Listen, I
can and this is scary. You know what? I would enjoy it.
That's honesty. I love it.
So I'm gonna ask a question.
Do I have a problem?
Run away.
Is Brian trembling right now? I know that little look.
I don't know. He's not near me at all.
All right, if he's listening,
but he's not a douchebag either. He's not a douchebag. He's not an abuser. I would never, ever
have an unspoken level of fear, because guess what? Any particular moment at the wrong time, if we don't take the garbage out correctly, that could be the end of life as we know it. So we always have to fight. We got to keep that shit in the back of our head.
But see, I like
you have to fight fire with fire.
I like the she-wolf analogy, because when a male wolf, an alpha wolf, is out there fighting, the she will come up underneath and guard right at his neck, fierce as fuck, and she'll make sure nobody's going to bite his throat out while he's dealing with business.
Yeah, but she's also been known to, if we decide casually that we're going to playfully try and come up behind you and hump you, and then we get all the teeth and, get our nutsack chewed off. All right,
that's because we got a headache and we don't want to be fucking bothered.
It does work both ways. I mean, as the only man in this fucking conversation, I am obliged to at least, pretend to be somewhat like, please don't kill us. But in seriousness, it's tough, because in many ways, we, and obviously our children, have to carry the burden of generations of fucking dysfunctionality.
Yes. I believe we have to at times fight fire with fire. You have to. The whole nicey, peace, love, unicorns and kittens.
Oh, come on. Can we hug a tree?
Don't always work. I love hugging trees. Trees are my friends. But Jesus Christ, man, if you fuck with anybody that I know or somebody that cannot defend themselves and I see it, I have no problems. And I'm not saying that in a boastful way.
No,
it's an automatic response it's for
raw,
me.
Right. It's raw. It's honest. It's just like, hey, listen, I don't want to have to go here, but play fucked up games and you win fucked up prizes.
Right. Surprise.
Surprise.
But people, I guess a lot of my life too, people have misunderstood me because I am only 4'11" and I am a woman and I was a young girl. Growing up, I was teased. Okay, because I developed early in life. And so I had to defend myself as well because boys got the wrong attitude.
Listen, we adapt to survive.
Built,
we do what we have to do sometimes. Yeah.
So I had to do that. I had to constantly defend myself. And then I was considered a bitch, and I'm like, thank you. Yes, beautiful, intelligent, totally in charge. Thank you. You just gave me a compliment.
See, you wore that shit like a badge. You're like, I'm proud.
God damn right I am. But I'm not trying to be boastful. I'm not trying to be arrogant. But more women, I think, need to feel this way about themselves too.
Listen, I've known you now for a little over a year, and I'm a big fan.
I don't wear an apron.
Well,
I don't wear.
Besides the obvious, but
well,
I like
some people that wear aprons kind of have that tendency.
You know what I mean? Aprons and golden underwear and
yes,
all these other things. They're just they're masked so that way they don't have to actually come out of the closet and be like, I really like sucking dick, and I just haven't been able to address it.
Right.
Which is sad for them.
Sneakers can go with that too.
Well, you got to play the part, except if you're in an airport in a bathroom stall where you can just kind of reach under and just kind of anonymously be like, hey, let's play gay games.
I won't. Let's just say I won't run out the door to defend if I thought that somebody that I knew and loved, say my husband or whoever, Shia, you, anybody, thought they were in trouble or they were being hurt or abused, I definitely wouldn't be running out the fucking door into my car.
You are when people are
just saying,
when they're acting correctly. I've seen you go out of your way to help people. I've seen you go out of your way to support people. We have a really beautiful circle. A big shout out to Sister Joyce down there in Florida. She's listening to us.
Hey, Joyce.
And she's like, I pick my fights too. We know Joyce and Diane are cut from the same cloth. We know Diane is absolutely prone to fucking violence. So,
yes, she is.
But here's the thing.
Only when provoked, though. Again.
Here's the analogy.
Only when provoked.
You have been repeatedly taken advantage of by people, quote unquote, pretending to be friends, to be part of your circle. Hi, sister, here, let me reach into your wallet and let me take your money and
take your money. Let me take your
let me
dignity.
Take your self-esteem.
Let me take your self-esteem.
By the way, don't you like the way my ass smells right now? Here, let me get it right up.
Let me take your child. Let me take your kids. Yeah,
but you have consistently held the line. You have allowed them. You didn't act out. You didn't go for your pound of flesh. I mean, I'm probably more prone to it than you are.
That's not what I'm there for. That's not why I do it, to get my pound of flesh.
You do have that line, and I've seen it. Once that line for you is broken, that's it. You don't even fucking debate it anymore. But you still have walked the walk, I believe, at least. And it's one of the things I do really respect about you is you're not afraid to be honest, and you try to give people the benefit of the doubt. You try to believe in these dynamics rather than just assuming the worst. And it's only until, certain things reach a certain line, and you and I have had a lot of conversations within the group and the Sunday folks and stuff like that, it is an unfortunate pattern with humanity to some degrees that some people they're fucking fake. They're just full of shit.
I have a hard time understanding that, though. That's the thing. How you think I would understand that given the shit that I've been through, but I still think there are so many people out there, and that are genuinely awesome, and they make mistakes, and we all fucking do. We're human beings. But when I see continuously the same bullshit time and time from the same person over and over again, then I'm thinking,
well, it's a pattern.
And then it's a pattern.
Yeah.
And you either don't want to change or you don't understand. And so when somebody explains,
it's purposeful. It's purposeful.
The situation.
Listen, it's easy to hide. It's easy to hide behind this. Oh, woe is me. This happened to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now that justifies all the other horrible bullshit things that they do. Or the other side of the coin, it's just like, hi, I'm really nobody of importance, but I'm going to tell you everything you're doing wrong with your life. And by the way, help me do this, that, and the other thing. But, you know, I can't be bothered, you know, if you need a ride.
Help me.
Yeah.
Help me. And when you go to help, they don't like what they hear.
Right.
And then they go to other people. Then they go up to other people to get recognition because what somebody told them was actually the truth. And yes, we'll help you. But they don't want to believe it, so they find somebody that's going to tell them.
Exactly. Why deal in reality if you can find somebody else
what they want to hear?
Bullshit. Yes.
Right. So I don't deal well with that shit either.
But
nobody does.
That is a repeating narrative. We see that all over the place. We see it at many different levels of things. But
listen,
it is also.
I've been called. I don't give a fuck. I know who I am. I've been called a lot of shit in my life. I've been called a cunt. I have been called a bitch. I've been called crazy. I've been called all kinds of different things in my life. And you know what? Yeah, you know what? Whatever. If that's who you think I am, then what the fuck you doing talking to me for?
Well, have you been called a twunt?
Twunt. I was called a quant, but not a twunt.
Not a twunt.
Give it to, but the twunt.
That's like, splitting hairs
twunt
at
is
that
like,
particular
yes.
point.
Yes.
But see,
not twunt. That's the new version of cunt.
Right. Yes. That's the joy of having magical artifacts like, golden underwear and aprons to protect you from the consequences of the real world.
Golden underwear and golden sneakers. Yes. Because,
Oh, there's a lot more.
There you go.
I want the magical glasses that can read the golden tablets. I think that would be cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I would like that too.
I'd like to get one of those tinfoil hats that actually does work.
Yeah, well, Ed, I thought I was going to bring one of those in one time or something.
No, Ed uses the prop one because it's easier than shooting heroin in the bathroom. You know what I mean? When you have to make,
that's right.
When you have to make the lesser choice, right? Yeah.
Right.
We use the
because that's what everybody does.
Yeah. But again, this is the irony sometimes, and you know me, what I do. I turn it into some wacko fucking comedy type of dark humor.
Yeah.
But I'm also,
I love dark humor.
I'm also very, very wolfish in the dynamic that, if you smell like shit and you act like shit and you talk like shit, you're probably fucking
you are shit.
Yeah.
So my natural demeanor is like, I don't want to be, no, sorry, I can't play with you. You know what I mean?
But then I continue to go, well, they may talk like it and act like it, but they're still, give them a chance because, they're misunderstood.
Nice will grow from the pile of shit. I get it.
Right.
I get that way
Flowers.
too. But I do get to a point to where when people repeatedly show you who they are, I start to believe them. And if they show themselves to be a twat waffle on a consistent basis,
they're a twat waffle.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chandra said it. Pretend friends are the worst. It's manipulation.
No shit there.
This is what people do. It's not just men who abuse women. Women abuse women.
No.
Men abuse men. You know what I mean? We abuse animals. You know what I mean? We abuse everything. And I'm not saying us per se, but
humanity.
Right, no.
It is, unfortunately, a framework many times of just shitty human behavior.
A lot of times people have to feel better about themselves, and to do that, they want to shit on other people, not realizing that we can claim our power and feel better about ourselves while lifting others up. Because when we lift each other up, we all fly higher. You know?
But some people don't want everybody to fly higher than them. So that's the fear. Why help somebody really? Because if I help them, they might fly higher than me. And I can't have that.
Right.
Well, some of that is the ego dynamics. I want to...
not me personally, but, the mentality.
The mentality,
yeah. I want to respond to somebody in the chat. Williams Misty, I totally feel for your situation. Shia will be on tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to come back and if you want to talk to her about that situation, I'm sure she'd be more than happy to take a look at it.
This is not a tarot live.
Not a tarot ride. I can tell you from my own personal experience as a parent going through custody stuff, and I think, Otivia, you can speak to this as well, too, just to give a little practical address, because I do try and address what people bring into the chat during these live sessions. Any form of custody when it comes into children is a convoluted pile of shit process. No matter how you fucking slice it. No matter if you are right and everything you've done is right, the process and the system itself is broken.
Big time.
And you know what? The person that gets the worst of it all and suffers through the worst of it is the children.
Always. It's always the children.
Yep.
Always the children. So if the parents can try to become, civil and look out for the child, that's wonderful. But sometimes, unfortunately, when there's abuse involved,
it's tough. And this situation,
it gets very tough.
Right. And this one's even more difficult because from what they shared, trying to get custody of the grandchildren. So when it's a grandparent trying to now establish
grandparent rights.
Right. It's
and
incredibly
guardianship.
Convoluted. Unfortunately, most court systems will always stick with the biological parents, even if they're fucking complete fuck up drug addict.
Drug addict, whacked out, fucking
it's hard. The only thing
murderers.
Right.
Yeah.
The only thing that you can do, and this is the only thing I found that works, you need to find somebody as an advocate within the legal system, be it through a domestic abuse group or a child psychologist, somebody that has the ability to bring weight into the legal system. And your narrative, your goal line is simply to prove that the children are in danger, that they'd be better off. That's the only element that you can pursue that the legal system, unfortunately, will look at. And I went through it as a father, as a parent.
Always.
Well,
but not always.
But you have to go
through a lot. You have to go through a lot to even prove.
Oh, no doubt.
The child is in danger. I mean, seriously, a child could be in danger, but
it's not
you
easy.
have to prove by a shadow of a doubt that a child is in danger because
the system is broken and there's really no good way to fix it at this point. It was short of a complete overhaul. And even then, there's always going to be cracks that things are going to fall through.
You take notes, you take pictures, videos.
Don't give up.
And
if you
don't give up.
Right. You got to keep
in numbers.
You have to keep, my mother said as well too, you need a lawyer, an advocate. You need somebody that understands the legal system to be able to work the narrative. And, it's never an easy process. Resolve yourself to that. I mean, again, all joking aside, sometimes putting it in its proper place, putting the right spin on a thing will make it easier to go through the process. It's not going to change it, but it will allow you to maintain your sanity, your hope, and your faith to whatever degree that applies, that you are doing the right thing. And just, that's really, again, all any of us can do, unfortunately, many times.
when you go to get emergency custody, because I did that with my son, it was denied. Even though I can prove my son was in danger, it was denied. I could tell you the stories.
I wasn't able.
I know you've got stories too.
I wasn't able to get it for me until the cops in my town actually busted her for some shit.
Right.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? I had to have documented precedent to say this is what's happening, and it was just so far outside the box that finally the school was able to say, okay, we'll draw this line. And the only reason they draw it, to be really blunt, is they didn't want to be fucking liable. They didn't want to get fucking sued for her doing some crazy, stupid shit.
Yep. Now, can I say one thing to you, Misty? If you come on my live tomorrow and talk to me about this, I will, on the live, do a protection over your grandchildren. I will cast a protection spell for what it's worth to help with that, because I will always advocate for kids in danger and do a little bit of a live spell for protection for them. So if you come on tomorrow night,
it won't change the legal element.
It won't change the legal element.
Listen, channeling the right energy
we can at
will
least
give
get
you
some good
strength.
energy.
Right.
It's true, because I'll tell you what, when it came to my custody battle with my son, I did a justice spell.
There you go.
I did a major justice spell and a protection spell for my child, and it helped a lot.
Yep.
Because the truth came out in unexpected ways that the opposing side didn't even think was going to happen.
Woohoo! Magic is real, folks. It can take an effect, and always
magic is energy. If you get into a room, right?
Desire.
Listen,
if you have that gut wrenching, heart pounding, brain thumping desire, that heat, you bring that on.
That mama bear.
And that's how the mama bear, the mama lion, you name it, that right there is so powerful.
Well, I mean, energy is real in the dynamic of magic. It's the same analogy. If you go into a room of people and they're all angry and depressed, you're going to feel shitty after a few minutes of being around them. But if you go to if you go to a Days End concert and you see Brian Judah jumping up and down there with his bass doing his little thing, you're going to feel cool. You're going to be like, hey, that guy's cool. I feel good. Maybe I could do that too.
I want to be like Judah.
I had to do that little shout out for him, because I also have
so funny.
Real quick, I'm going to throw this out, otherwise I'm going to forget it. Anybody up here in the Rochester area, April 14th, okay? Slosh Fest at Iron Smoke.
Fest.
Yes.
In honor of our friend and dear friend.
Yeah, I got the thing up there with Slosh with the chicken and the fucking chicken bone.
Yes. I helped him with that, just letting you know.
Oh, dear.
I gave him the chicken bone.
You have deep history, not only within the radio station and within the music scene here.
We had fun. Slushy is missed. We had, Brian and him were such good friends. We were all good friends. And, he was always there for my family. He was always there for Brian. He was always there for my son, Tony. Sorry.
You can't say
he really was
much more of a testament to a person's character.
He was there through thick and thin. He was there when my son was having some of the worst times. He was there to help any way he could. He was there for Tony. He was there for Brian. He was there for me. We didn't see things eye to eye politically, but you know what? Who gives a fuck?
No.
He was a great friend. And he would give the shirt off his back to anybody, and he has. And
our circle is living proof that we can find a middle ground.
Yep.
Both Ed and Diane have tendencies that are a little bit more conservative. We have tendencies that are a little bit more left and center and stuff like that. But we love each other.
Yes.
And we find the common ground within the context.
Because politics really don't fucking matter, because you know what? You got far right, you got far left, and then you got somewhere in the middle. The middle.
That's
usually
me.
The middle
purple.
Gets
is
lost.
Where
right.
You're usually going to find the majority of the truth and the reality.
Well, I'm calling all my purple people to come on out and bring some sanity to this world.
There's good and bad to everything, because if you don't have good and you don't have bad, you don't have balance. You have to have both in order to have balance.
Truth.
And sometimes the scale tips one way, sometimes the scale tips another, and then everybody gets all in each other's faces because they're not getting what they want on this side. And then it's just, how about just, again, respect. You don't have to agree on every little fucking thing, because if we all agreed on everything and we all seen the same, life would be so fucking boring.
Well, we have to draw certain lines. There's certain lines that have to be drawn. Like we can all agree that it's not okay to go grab women by the pussy.
No.
Okay, I'm going to say
unless they ask for it, and so
right.
Hey,
that's a boom. Bottom line.
If they ask for it, okay, cool. But if you're just doing it because you're trying to prove, because you're a little, you're a little fuck boy, and you've got to prove something to yourself.
You know what I'm trying to do? One of the guys I became...
Because you've got mommy and daddy issues. Oh, that's your problem, dude.
Let me tell you what I'm trying to do. I can't do it on the radio station. It'll definitely have to be here on the podcast. But the plan is I've become friends with a guy in the paranormal investigation field, a guy by the name of Dave Childers.
Oh, cool.
And he's friends with Stormy Daniels. Real good friends with Stormy Daniels.
Like real good friends?
Stormy is actually a paranormal investigator as well. She does some of these events. So I'm trying to work to get her out here to be like,
that would be awesome.
And I don't want to throw her into the generic context of
bullshit. Right.
But it is worth noting that she's putting herself out there in the crosshair. She's one of the people that's standing up and saying, you know what, this is fucking bullshit. We're going to call this out for what it is. You know what I mean? And I think that type of stuff more than ever needs to be heard. People need to hear this and look at it for really what it is. You know what I mean? Outside of the obvious, so what, she did, like everybody does porn to a certain degree. Some people just don't film it and get paid for it. You know what I mean? Every act of sex, technically to somebody somewhere, is fucking pornography.
And it's an exchange of energy, so you can call it, hey, everybody's whoring themselves out somehow. Whether it be for companionship or for a good time or for money.
Every time I go in the bathroom and take a shit, it's pornography. I mean, but it's beyond the point. Everybody's perspective is...
How about mental health? Think about it. Mental health. Sex.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Energy. Yep. Sex. Yep. Mental health. It's another way of releasing...
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong.
Well, it's like any other drug. We know that the biological act in itself, releases endorphins.
And endorphins.
Right.
Dopamine.
It is
dopamine.
A normal reaction, not unlike, what other drugs and alcohol and stuff will do.
And
sugar does the same thing. Gambling, the excitement, the adrenaline. You hear this all the time. People
Sex, drugs, rock and roll.
Right. Adrenaline junkies. Adrenaline
junkies.
Let me jump out of a plane so I can get my dick hard. Here we go.
Yes. There we go. Right?
So
again, some people go for that stuff, some people don't, but don't tell people what they can and can't fucking do unless it's hurting somebody intentionally. Like rape.
Well, right. And listen, we can't advocate certain dynamics. Like there's a small piece of the population that thinks it's okay to fuck children. And most of us, 99% of us, are going to say, you go anywhere near those children, you're going to get whacked with a fucking tire iron. Yep. I understand that.
I say machete, but that's me.
But you see where I'm going.
I saw one where a bull got to chew up certain body parts out of and I'm like, go pit bull.
And for some people, the pendulum swings the other way. Like Sister Jane, she probably would lose her mind, in any analogy of people like shoving gerbils up their asses or anything.
Right. No.
With nobody should use.
Nobody should abuse an animal.
No.
That's another one.
But you see where I'm going. We all have our little places where we are passionate.
Yeah.
I was talking to her the other night. I'm trying to get her to come on it. And she had said this. She had said to me, she says, well, I have nothing really of value to share. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, you have all kinds of things to share.
Are you kidding?
Do me a favor. Poke her with a stick for me and tell her that,
Yeah.
Jane, are you fucking?
If she's out there.
We love you, Jane.
Oh my God, she's a beautiful, intelligent, phenomenal musician, a phenomenal singer. Oh my God, she's so intelligent too, and she's beautiful.
She has intelligence and thoughts and all these other things too.
She's such a loving person. She's another one that give her your upper back. She is a beautiful, wonderful, intelligent woman, and she doesn't see it.
Well, because
sometimes,
I mean, the little bit that I know from what she shared, she's been beaten and conditioned down. And I'm not saying physically, literally beaten, but emotionally and spiritually. Listen, maybe I won't speak to that because she hasn't shared that with me.
I can tell you, as her friend,
that she's been through some shit.
Yeah,
she is such a kind-hearted, loving woman, especially when it comes to animals. She loves animals so much.
Well, I mean, that's a pure empathy right there.
It is. She very much, oh my God, is she empathetic?
But that's why I was like, listen, I don't need you just to come on and talk about rock and roll. I want you to come on and talk about the things that you're fucking passionate about. So make sure
animals, animals and music, music, animals, and she's an artist.
Oh, really?
Again.
Yes, she
but
can
this
draw.
is the problem. We get told that we don't count. Our opinions don't matter. We don't have anything to offer. Shut up and go away. You know what I mean? And it is. It's
right.
tragic.
You know what? That's the society. I'm done fucking with society. You know what? If you don't like what I'm saying, and if you don't like me, then stop fucking following me on Facebook.
Yep.
Stop listening to what I'm saying.
Yep.
Turn the channel now.
Yep.
Turn the fucking channel now because this is me.
Or my favorite phrase,
you know,
if I'm too much,
I'm 57. I don't give two fucks anymore.
Yeah, only one
you
fuck.
Get to a certain point, you just not even anymore. I don't give. Well, maybe one fuck. I give a couple fucks for animals and children and people with disabilities and my friends and my family. The rest.
Well, I mean, there's only so far you can go.
Your fucks are reserved.
Right. My fucks are very much reserved, like a fine wine. They really are reserved.
Holy crack it out.
I used to give my fucks all over the place. I used to give my fucks to everybody and anybody. And then I got fucked. Not in a good way.
Well, it's normal. We want to be loved. We want to be accepted. I think that's a natural thing to feel a part
now
of.
my fucks are very much reserved, like a fine wine or a fine brandy or whatever.
Well,
like
we're talking about slosh. It would have to be a cheap whiskey.
Or whatever. So
no, we're going top shelf. Otivia's
we're
fucks
going
are top shelf.
They're top shelf fucks now. Yes.
You gotta pay for those fucks, man.
Yeah. Except for certain people, I'll give my fucks out to anybody.
Well, the VIPs can always have top
my
shelf.
Family, my friends, my family, and animals.
Those are your VIPs.
Yes.
They
always
shelf.
get top shelf.
There you
they
go.
always get top shelf fucks.
So the men who wear aprons get nothing.
No, aprons,
they get the well.
The aprons get the feather dusters to clean up after all the discarded fucks.
They get the well wine. They get the
they get
lower
box
shelf.
wine. They get box wine.
Are we talking
they get Mad Dog 2020.
See, I was going a little bit deeper. I was going to like
Boone's Farm.
I was going to like Attica prison toilet.
Oh, well, see, I don't know nothing about that. That's news to me, but okay. Tell me about that recipe.
I don't know the recipe. I mean, I've heard stories from fucking people. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Listen, that's the wild thing about the human spirit is that people will find ways to
poison themselves,
to fuck themselves up.
Yes.
No matter whatever their circumstance or whatever their situation.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
They'll go out there and they'll smoke a poisonous, fucking mushroom and. You know what I mean? Just
to get something.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Swallow a Tide Pod, you know what I mean?
Drink some bleach.
Sniff some gasoline,
bleach enema.
you know what I mean?
Drink some bleach. because that, kills COVID, right?
Or we can just take the warning labels off of everything and see who survives. That would be
see
interesting.
what happens.
Yeah, that's an Ed Contini moment. Ed wants to remove
survival of the fittest. Yeah. Let's do all the jarts. We want jarts back. Let's bring jarts back.
Yes.
With the tips.
Yes.
The real jarts.
The lawn darts. The ones that have the really long, like jarts. You throw those things and you can actually kill somebody.
Yes. Yes. The jarts. Yes. And, remember that game a long time ago? So here we are. This is where Dana said, Mumbly Peg.
I don't remember that.
Do you remember?
What? It might have been
Ed remembers that.
I'm from the South. We might have called it something different. So what's the game?
Okay.
Give me the context.
So Mumbly Peg is when a person holds out their hands. They hold out their hands. The other person has a knife, and they stab in between. The like, fingers, Mumbly Peg. Where you got the android that's doing that until he bleeds. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking aliens. Yeah, that's.
But back in the days, that was a game that we used to play. Well, I didn't play, but I watched my brothers play it.
I actually played it a couple of times.
Mumbly Peg.
When we were kids, I remember we used to play a game called Cross Country. We'd basically run around the neighborhood, 2 teams. Every team would gather a bunch of rocks, and the goal was to try and find the other people and peg them as hard as you could with the rock.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And
you're stoning them.
Yes.
You're stoning them.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
because everybody must get stoned.
Yes.
Everybody must get stoned.
Yes.
Well, if everybody did get stoned.
We just hunted each other down.
If everybody did get stoned.
We'd probably
more
be a lot better off, man.
Yes. See, I the last time I got totally wasted was, when was it? I forgot. The last edible that I had. It was the gummy. Yeah.
Gummy.
But you know what? That was awesome. That was an amazing trip. But our girl Diane, she really had a good time, and
yeah, well,
I was not there to see it, damn it.
Oh, it was amazing.
Mama's not exactly that kind of party girl.
She's like, I'm on the
she's
floor.
not.
It feels so good.
And I wasn't either, but, I think I stopped because I think I had a bad batch or something.
No, listen.
At one point,
I think you're just
it upset my stomach, and I got really, really sick.
There is a dynamic, and again, depending upon, other chemistry elements and stuff like that, the edibles are more difficult to control in that framework because, again, especially if you have no tolerance or expectation, like Ed was talking to me about the story when he had done it, and I think he literally went through fucking altered states. Like, he was out in the train with his underwear, just regressing to his animal state.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I know I did, man. I was talking to trees and driftwood and stones, and I was seeing all kinds of really
without
awesome.
Anything into influencing me. I will do that anyway.
It was an amazing experience, and because my inhibitions, my inhibitions went down, and I was actually opened up to the energies, and I was opened up to things that normally I won't be, because I'm always on edge. I'm always on high alert.
And I think that's the conditioned element from, yes, exactly, your PTSD.
Yeah. Oh, that's from complex PTSD and PTSD, which sometime we can kind of talk about that too, because there's a slight difference.
Well, I would love to have you on my Thursday show to talk about complex PTSD versus PTSD. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
And we have discussed,
because we both.
The ultimate goal is you're going to at least a little bit. I know you may not do it every week, but you want to create a podcast, a show where things can be discussed in the format that you believe without the restrictions and everything that goes along with it.
Yeah, because, and this is not a big deal, but I do have a bachelor's degree in psychology and human development. And I did work in the field for many years as social worker, case manager, working with people also with developmental disabilities. And like I said, domestic violence. So I have the background and I've lived it and I have the experience, but my own setback is I don't trust myself in how do I explain this? I second guess my shit all the time in my own true value, I guess. But we all, I think, do that too. But I do it a lot more so because of the PTSD, the complex PTSD, and all the other shit.
Well,
and
we learn to stay
I
on
don't
edge to
have
protect
a
ourselves.
master's. I don't have a master's degree to call myself a therapist or a counselor. Well, I could call myself a counselor, but a therapist. I can't be a licensed therapist because I don't have a master's, which kind of sucks because I would rather have somebody that has no master's degree and has all the fucking experience in the world, right?
Yep.
And has lived through shit than a textbook person that just has never had to deal with anything before and only has a master's degree and no real life experience.
The book is good to certain degrees, but without practical application, you're right. It doesn't really mean anything.
The book is amazing.
Right.
I learned
like
a lot.
Teaching a parrot. You can teach a parrot to recite all the fucking words, but are you gonna let the parrot operate on you? It's just like fuck.
And I can tell you, working as a domestic violence court advocate, the women and men that we have helped, they know when you're bullshitting and when you don't really know because you've never experienced it. They can tell.
Well, I mean, isn't that the irony? So many people are in these positions where they're working for these social groups or trying to rehabilitate people or any number of these bullshit examples, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I wouldn't trust them to make a peanut butter sandwich.
But there are many out there that are therapists because the good ones, I should say.
Yes, there are good ones out there.
They have experienced and they have the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot of the people that get into the human services or counseling or therapy is because they have gone through something or have known people that have gone through something and want to help in the past.
Well, you have to have some kind of perspective on it. I use the same analogy. If a woman is going to or needs to have conversations about pregnancy-related things, yes, she can talk to a male doctor, but the other elements that go with it, only another woman is going to be able to truly relate to it because it's not an experience a man can go through physically. So
and vice versa, like with the man.
Right.
Like with the man. I don't know anything about having testicular cancer. I don't have them.
Not.
I mean, God forbid.
I can't even understand how men sit with balls. I don't get it.
I don't understand that either. Doesn't it hurt? I mean, don't they have to like tuck them in or do something so they don't like get pinched?
I've even watched guys like sit and I'm like,
haven't you ever watched Transformers?
Tape them up.
It's like Transformers. They automatically retract. They have their own internal mechanisms to shit. They're sentient. They know what's going on. It's cool.
Yeah, and that's why I've seen you kick yourself in the balls before.
I have literally, full disclosure. I will absolutely admit it.
You know, I've actually seen somebody, a male, long time ago, actually accidentally close their balls in a suitcase.
Nice.
Packing.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh shit!
How do you?
Wow.
I don't even know how you do that. Balls are weird. I like Betty White's take on it. She's like, why are everybody always going around saying, oh, you got to grow some balls. Balls are squishy. Women have vaginas. They can take a pounding and keep on going. Balls, you can't hit a guy in the balls, they double over. So why is having balls such a great thing?
All right.
There you go. There you go. Seriously. Vaginas get freaking poked, prodded, pushed.
Yeah, we can take a licking and keep on
taking.
Listen,
babies come out of there like big watermelons, and we're still going.
At the risk of hanging myself out even further on the limb, I'll be the first one to admit that, I prefer vagina over balls or dick any day of the week.
Yes.
But that's not to say I don't begrudge anybody else, whatever their particular choices. But okay.
Shy and I and Diane recently had deep fried octopus balls.
That was great. They were nice and warm and creamy.
They were. They were deep fried creamy octopus balls. They were.
Diane got so excited about them, and I was a little bit trepidatious about them. But when they came out, and you bit into them, and they just kind of oozed out that nice white.
Listen, I'm gonna lean on the side that something was lost in fucking translation. That they weren't actually, to the best of my knowledge, octopus don't have nut sacks that they float around with.
If they did, they sure did taste good.
If they did,
I think in the Asian translation they were balls made of octopus.
Nothing like Rocky Mountain.
Like a meatball is made.
They weren't like Rocky Mountain oysters at all, right?
No, they weren't.
I don't know. I wasn't with you. You guys are the ones who seem to feel that.
They were creamy and delicious.
It was on the menu. Octopus balls.
It's on the menu.
I'm like, well, this is interesting. At first, it didn't sound appetizing, but boy, once you bite into those octopus balls.
Yeah, once you have octopus balls, you won't go back.
You won't go back. Nope.
Wonder if we can get Ed to eat some octopus balls.
I don't know. They don't have scallops in them, but I doubt that very much. But Diane loved them.
I loved them.
Diane loved them. I guess
it's the analogy, not unlike spaghetti. It's straight until it gets wet.
There you go.
Yeah.
So now that we've completely derailed you and horrified you,
I want to do a couple shout outs. Chandra Waddleworth, she had made a great point, and she's been through it to some degrees, and it is unfortunately reflective. You can have a degree in the social work and you still will have, the second guessing elements. Some of this is just the dynamic of practical experience, but
it sure is.
And she was also like, balls are weird. Yeah, this is how it happens. When you do a live unscripted show like this, you never know when the fuck is going to happen. Like Otivia had a couple of notes that I think ended like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, the notes are gone.
Everything else has basically just been off the fucking cuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jennifer Scott Green. Yes, laugh out loud on the Rocky Mountain oysters. You go for it, girl.
Go over to the
my mother is letting me know the conversation is derailed, but that's her fault technically.
We're going off the rails on our crazy
train. My humor, my wit,
not a crazy train.
All this shit I got from my mother.
Yeah.
Okay. So ultimately, she is the one, and I say this a lot now because it just makes me feel better about myself. I'm going to blame my mother. Everybody else does. So fuck it. I'm going to jump on that.
Your mom.
Blame it on your mom.
Oh.
Yeah. I got it from my mama.
She can handle it. Oh no, listen, trust me, she can handle it because she'll be the first one also too. To
grab a tire iron.
And she will. If I go off base, she'll. I'll get a call, 5:30 in the morning. What the fuck are you doing? And I was like, I'm sorry, Mom.
What the fuck you doing?
But no, we have a great relationship. We bounce a lot of things back and forth. We have that ability now later in life, unlike when I was a child and couldn't be bothered to listen to a fucking word she said. This is the beautiful thing about time. You get retrospect.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
you now have the ability to look at things differently because you're in a different place. You've evolved, maybe you've devolved, who knows.
See, it's cherish your family, cherish your mother, cherish your dad, cherish your mother. I lost my mom when I was 17. So, everybody, when I hear people complaining about, I have to take care of my mom, I have to take care of my dad. Oh my God, they're getting older, blah, blah. You know what? I wish I could go back and have that opportunity to take care of my mother. I took care. My father died when I was 30, but still, it's like once they're gone, they're gone.
At the same point,
no matter what.
Well, listen, it is the dynamic of cherishing and loving and appreciating what we have in the moment.
And if they were good to you, and if they didn't, if they were, how do I put this? I miss my mother. I wish I had the opportunity to help her the way I wanted to help her, but I was 17 when she passed. So I didn't have that opportunity to have that mother-daughter bonding, and that's why I'm trying so hard with my daughter and my son. I have it with my son for the most part.
But I will say for all those listening out there, yes, we want to cherish our family and stuff like that, but you are not obligated to keep yourself into a position where you are being abused or where you have to suffer the abuse of a family member. For example, my dad's off somewhere in Texas dying by himself because he has created that narrative and dynamic for himself.
My father died alone as well, too, because he became so toxic. Nobody could deal with him anymore. It was just so bad that there was nothing anybody could do, despite your best best efforts.
Right. No, what I'm saying, but that's not what I was saying was yes.
Yeah.
If they were good to you and if they were good parents to you, yes. But if they weren't and they were very, very abusive to you and no, then, whatever. There's one fuck that's
everything.
not given.
The continued context is everything, right? Yep. You still have to find balance with it. You know what I mean? Like I am nowhere near as bitter or twisted about things because I've had the luxury not only of time, but I've had the support of people like my mother and Shia and my son and Ed and Brian and a lot of other people where you can vocalize these things. You can compare notes and you can be like, you know what? Maybe I'm not fucking crazy, and especially just being able to get it out there. That's again another one of the beautiful elements of what we have. Everybody's allowed a voice. I mean, maybe not Ed sometimes, but everybody's allowed a voice.
But I think the whole point is basically if somebody's going through a redemption arc and they're willing to reconcile and redeem and make a life change, then great. Even if they were shitty to you as a parent, and they're like, oh shit, I woke up one day and realized I was a shitty parent, and I'm gonna make amends, and I'm going to do the best I can now. Then there's a context for that redemption. Yep. But if they're gonna stay in there and you're gonna be constantly abused, you're not obligated to stay in an abusive situation.
Sean goes like,
you're not at all. Hell no, that's right. No.
No, I feel you. Listen, it's always relevant to the situation. Not everybody's situation is the same. We're all unique in our experiences where we can share in common elements like pain, betrayal, fear. Yeah. The details always, they vary, and people do and can, doesn't mean they will change. Right. It does happen. Right. We all change.
You can't
to a certain
change
degree.
them.
Right.
They've got to want to change.
They've
if they're
got to
doing
make the change
bad
for themselves. Yeah.
They've got to make the change. No matter what you do, they could say they want the help. They could say all that, but unless they actually go and get the help and really want deep down in their soul to change for real, you're not going to change them, and it's not your job to change them.
Hey, the fuck men preach.
No, it doesn't work, unfortunately.
No, it doesn't. But I mean, with my father, he was a badass and everything, but he had very good qualities, and I understood it was learned behavior. I still was very angry at him, but I was able to make my amends with him for the most part.
That's beautiful, and that's something you'll be able to carry with you for the rest of your life, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, everybody, and that's the other thing, everybody's individual, and certain people like, you're a cookie cutter. So they can't handle diversity, and they can't handle the uniqueness, so they want everybody the same so they can control them.
Boring.
Listen, some of it goes back to the fear. Some of it is just, self-serving in the moment. They want what they want when they want it. So let's close
ignorance.
Yep. Let's close the show out tonight on a positive note. Let's talk a little bit without getting into too many details, but let's talk about this Sunday, first party, your house, your grandson's birthday party. We're not going to give anybody details because we don't want anybody else showing up. No offense. This is
Nobody's going to be double digits. He's going to be 10 years old. Preteen.
And I know this is huge for you because you
Landon.
You have, your dream house for all intents and purposes by your own words.
Yep. Yeah. This is my dream house.
It's so cute too, Otivia. You've done such a great job with the decor so far. I'm just like, wow.
It's my son's house and Brian's too, but I call it my dream house because there's a story behind it. Maybe at some other point I'll tell you because it's long drawn out. But anyways, I'm back to my roots. I can say that. I'm literally back to my roots on the same street that I grew up on the lake here in Greece. It's like a whole new beginning. It's a full circle. It is a full circle, and for my son too as well. And those roots were ripped out about 30 years ago. I promise both my kids, even though they're still they're adults now, I promised them that I would do everything I possibly could in my power to get back to the lake and preferably on the same street. And I wasn't looking for this house. Wasn't looking to move. We were sold our house in Gates a couple of years ago, moved to, a townhouse close by, and then this house showed up.
Well, that's the way the universe works sometimes. They just show up.
And then
thanks
8
to
days
Diane,
later.
yeah, thanks to our friend, to our girl Diane and Diane's son, it helped make this a reality for me and my dream come true for sure. And it was like the whole universe got together. Everything just was in perfect place at the perfect time. And I'm very grateful and very thankful.
Couldn't have happened to a better person, in my opinion.
For one, I'm looking forward to it. I always like it with the kids type of thing, because I definitely get down to that kid level and stuff like that. And like you said, it's going to be the first little soiree there in the new home with everybody.
Yeah.
So looking forward to another Sunday fun day, sister.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it'll be nice so we can take a walk down a ways. I don't have access. I'm still looking if I still have beach access or not yet, because we're not right on the beach, right on the lake, but we are very much across. I mean, there's me, there's the road
from your window.
There's me, there's the road, and then there's a big house in front of us that's blocking my view. Right on the lake. But I can still see the lake. You can still see it. It's beautiful. But this is, pretty much what I asked for the most part,
it's
for
amazing.
many years.
Magic is real, my friend. Magic is real.
Yeah, and it's even white. And it's even white on the same street. So there's that.
Chandra, I'm gonna bust your bubble, and I'm sorry to tell you that the wolf here is not Howard. He is a Frank, not a Howard.
You missed her earlier text. She was making a joke about Howard and Robin. She was equivalating the show to the Howard Stern show.
I figured as much.
Oh,
I was more connected with Chandra than you were, Witch.
No, I actually saw that earlier and just didn't address it.
But that's why she's calling me Howard.
No, she thinks you're
Howie.
Howard.
No, but she knows I'm not Howard.
No, she doesn't. She just figured that out.
Chandra, I'm your side. I listen. I'm gonna take your side. I'm gonna go fight my wish off air, because that's how we have.
So your new name is Howard.
Yep.
No, I don't.
No, we are not
Frank
Howard and Robin.
No.
I am
Emotional, damn it.
No.
So the wolf is the wolf, otherwise known as Frank. And Shia is Shia, and Otivia is Otivia. So that's who we are. But we definitely don't shy off of the topics that some people other do shy off of.
And listen, I'll be the first one to admit some of what I do was influenced by guys like Howard Stern, George Carlin. I believe
George Carlin, yes,
very strongly that language. No, we're not fighting mamas.
we're bantering.
This is our shtick. Okay,
Yes,
we're doing it, but just shtick.
Oh, it's even funnier at 3 a.m. Trust me.
Oh yeah, I have episodes sometimes where I go into character. Listen, I took her plushie and started doing a
nasty things to my poor plushie.
we had an interesting puppet show. Let's just put it that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, poor.
Well, listen, this is where
Puppet
real
abuse.
magic is born from. That this is it. Comedy is good. Humor is good. To laugh is therapeutic. It's healing. So
not enough of it out in the world.
I believe language should not be restricted. So guys like Howard and George and others and stuff like that have always made it a point to be like, listen, if you don't like what I'm fucking saying, don't listen. It's just that simple. Yeah. My choice of language is mine. Now, again, humbly, like when we're at the kid's birthday party Sunday, I'm not going to be running around being like, fuckity, fuck. No, because they're children.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, no, you don't have to worry about that. Listen, I was a single parent for years. I know how to dance the dance.
Landon's heard worse, though. I heard his parents
Yes, Landon has.
But that's on them. That's their choice.
My daughter is like me. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, listen, if there's a foundation of fucks that are built at some point for me to walk upon and park my car, then yeah, maybe I'll throw some fucks out there. But
no, we know it's Landon's birthday. Everybody will be cool. It's going to be a great party. I'm hoping it's going to be a beautiful day, so we can take a walk
sister.
and go stand up.
Go with whatever.
Go hang on the upper. Want to go hang up on the upper deck? I want to be able to hang as much as if we can.
We have Otivia's upper deck.
They're on the upper deck. Yeah,
we'll make it work one way or another.
Hopefully soon. When the weather breaks, we'll have a lower deck too.
There you go.
Anything it's possible now, it's yours to do as you wish.
Yeah.
Your mom has officially said no plushie toys.
You know what? I don't want to go here. Okay. I'm going to I do what I want when I want. And if I decide at 3:00 in the morning it's time for a fucking puppet show, there will be a puppet show.
But not with my plushie. Not with my purple butterfly
anything. Listen, you should be thankful it wasn't one of your fucking cats. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you.
At least the cats have claws.
No cats. No, nice to kitties.
He is very nice.
I am. I feed them. I love them.
Sure.
But they annoy me. I am of the mind that animals were never meant to be domesticated. Yeah. God, that's just how I feel.
Just every so often you'll be walking through the house and you'll hear randomly from somewhere.
Allison is cute. She's a great little,
No,
thing.
I have 3 cats and I have Allison, and they could be pains in the asses, but I absolutely love them.
Here is the shining example of how nature has gone sideways because what we've done, and you have seen this, okay? Anytime you go over to Ed and Diane's and you watch Daisy humping Walker, all right. All the laws of nature have been fucking broken. Okay. We have shifted the natural order. Okay.
But wait, she's a girl dog. She's showing dominance. She's like saying, no, enough of this other shit. Now it's my turn.
I'm just saying, somewhere along the line, shit went sideways.
Look,
and
all I can say is cats domesticated their damn selves.
See, I think Jade would take my side. It's okay when we build a bond, and I understand, but there's too much of an apathetic attitude, I think, towards pet owning. Pets get abandoned all the time. They get abandoned.
Yes, they do.
There's just so much shit with it that I'm not a big fan of the concept. I have the same problem with, commercialized holidays. I love the spirit of Christmas, but every time I hear a fucking commercial, I want to shoot Santa Claus. I really do.
Yeah, Valentine's Day. I used to love Valentine's Day. It's a Hallmark holiday.
Right. It doesn't
you
even
should be able to treat your significant other or whoever with every day. Not just one. Here's a box of fucking chocolate. Here's some flowers, and then tomorrow I'm just going to tell you how fat you are because you ate all that chocolate because I gave it to you.
Well, I'll tell you what. Frank and I officially got together at the end of January, which is right before his birthday and right before Valentine's Day. And you should have seen the look of relief on his face when I point blank looked at him and said, look, I know Valentine's Day is coming up. You're not going to get a present from me. No. And if you get me a present, I'll be upset. I don't celebrate it. And the look of, oh my God, that's awesome. Look on his face was priceless.
It's a Hallmark holiday that was made up for money. Money.
To the best of our ability, it should be an everyday kind of thing.
Yes, every day. If you can't show love and respect and all that stuff to people every single day, and you can only supposedly do it on one day, that's fucked up now.
And if you want to have
Hallmark
a special
holiday,
day,
money.
Yeah, if you want to have a special day to celebrate your love every year where you go above and beyond, then pick something that's meaningful, like an anniversary or, something that's meaningful.
Not the same day that everybody else
Zombie
does.
Jesus Day, where magical rabbits shit chocolate eggs.
That was based on Ostara.
Oh, wait. I love that, though.
Another pagan holiday.
That's based on Ostara. Yes, it is.
Now, I love Halloween. Halloween, I'll get behind because
another pagan holiday.
They get to dress up.
Another
pagan
holiday. They get
to go run around and they get to act stupid and cool and that whole spirit. I dig that, even though it has been commercialized with some of the other shit. I'm like, all right, I can get behind it because again, it was really more reflective to kids. But even in these days, Halloween is dying. It's going to have to be a conversation for another time.
Something to say about it because we pagans, we have the best holidays and we'll fight to get them back.
I think what it is they're dying because of fear because kids they don't go out as much as they used to be because it hasn't been the safest. Yep. But Yeah, it's the spirit itself, though. The reason for Halloween, I don't think is really, I don't know, at least not my house.
Well, you know,
I believe we should have Halloween all year round, but that's
I look at it from the number of kids I see every year coming for candy.
Yep.
You know, that I'll be honest, that's how I gauge it, you know.
Yep.
Well, yeah, nowadays they're not coming out because they're been taught to be afraid.
Well, not only that, I think there's a disconnect. It, you know, because it is carried forward. You know, traditions are carried forward.
Yep.
So if there really
or
is
they've
no
been told that it was.
Yeah,
or they've been told that it's evil.
Or yep, that's a great analogy. Or
Satan.
Right.
Satan.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Look up your Bible. Check out what Satan's all about. Yeah. Check it out.
A whole nother story.
Check it out.
It's a whole nother podcast.
Check it out.
You've laid out a couple of good topics for other shows. So
you're coming back on, right, OT?
So either
Sure,
we'll get back, and we're almost set up downstairs to do broadcasting from down in Diane's basement. So this is something we will definitely have to follow up on. Sister, you're a natural. I don't know why you were worried about this.
Kicked ass.
Yeah,
kicked ass.
It was fun.
Thank you.
Listen, we went over 3 hours with this.
Yep.
Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yep. This switch is tuckered though, so I'll bid you guys adieu.
So
okay,
we're gonna definitely have to do this again. Sister,
we
I love
will.
you. We will
love you too.
See you for the party Sunday. As always, if you need anything, you know where we are. So we're gonna cut it out with a track from Hollowell. And say goodnight to everybody. Shia will be on tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
For What the Fuck Wednesday tarot reading.
What the fuck
Chandra,
Wednesday?
you can follow us, oldwolfmusic.com or ladyshia.com.
LADYSHIYA.com.
And you're always welcome to come around, hang. You know, I would address the other thing, Chandra, but we're at the 11 o'clock. I gotta let.
Hey, OT, say hi to Joycey. Joycey's on.
Yeah, we said hi to her before.
Hi, Joyce.
Hello again.
Hi, Joyce.
Is Lucy
sending hugs?
Hey, is Lucy doing something stupid down there?
Where's Lucy?
Probably doing something stupid.
Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
Lucy.
Tell Lucy I'm picking on her.
Allison's ears just perked up.
She has to get her ass to New York so she can have words with me.
Good night, Mama Wolf.
Oh my gosh.
But listen, thank you, everybody. Shia will be on tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, well, she's there, but I'm here. Okay, she's not here.
Yeah, y'all need to get your butts back up to Rochester.
Here, not
no
there.
kidding. Yes.
Chandra, come and hang out on the live tomorrow. I'll actually be on camera with my crazy
everybody.
purple hair.
Listen, to the best that we always try and engage with everybody that comes through. We appreciate the support, and until next time. It has been a blast. I am the Wolf, and if you're up here in New York in April, come hang out with us. You can meet some of the people behind the voices, as they say.
Slash fest.
Slash fest.